Hey everybody, wanted to welcome here to a little product review. Sig Sauer Ultimate right here, I'm telling you. So the whole reason of this product review is we've never done just a full of everything of what we use from Sig Sauer. We just did a video here a month ago or so. We talked about our gun, our scope on our guns by Sig Sauer, but I've never went through and actually showed you the binoculars that we use, the spot and scope. Now Sig's they have binocular rangefinder. That's another part of this reason I'm going to do this video is they just come out with a brand new Kilo10K HD Gen II 10x42s that we run, and I'm going to just show you the difference between the Gen 1s and Gen 2s of the Kilo10K, and then also I'm going to go through the Kilo6K, which I use a lot turkey hunting and archery hunting. So I'm going to dive right in here. There's so much stuff I had to write it down so I could bring everything to you guys. So just kind of bear with me, but it's very informative. I want you to listen. I'm telling you, Sig Sauer is literally taken, I think, the optics world kind of over. The thing I love about them is they're a great company. They're a US company, and then on top of it, their price points are so awesome. That's why I tell everybody about about Sig Sauer. Their price points are unbelievable, especially in this economy that we're in right now. So everybody's trying to save a buck, and that's the best part of it. So I'm just going to dive in here real quick. I'm going to start off with the spot and scope, and then I'm going to move into the binos. So the spot and scope that we've used, this particular one that I got right here. This is the Oscar 8, and this is the 27x55x80 HD 80 millimeter. The thing I like about it is this a rubber armor. It's kind of got a rubber armor onto it. That's I love. The second thing I love the big the big focus ring right here. I've had some other spot and scopes in the past. They got little knobs up here, tiny little focus rings. I love this big focus ring. It's awesome. And then ultimately this is an angle eyepiece. Now, with that being said, that's the one downfall of this spot and scope that I do not like. Out here in Montana, we do so much of our stuff from the pickup, or we take it on, we walk maybe half mile and sit on a ridge, because it's out here it's so big and open, so we can get on a ridge and we can see for days. So I've always been a straight guy, just for the simple fact we do so much from the pickup, and then when we're sitting down, on the ridge, I would rather look through a straight eyepiece. And what I mean by that, like this one right here is an angle, and I would rather have a straight one. That's just my preference. That's what I've always liked, and that's what I prefer. Sig doesn't make a straight eyepiece for this spot and scope, so hopefully in the down the road here they will but and then ultimately it's got the flat dark earth as the color here, and like I say, it's just the length pretty nice. It's only 15 inches in length, so it's not a big long huge bulky spot and scope. So a guy could take it on a backcountry hunt, or if you're out here in Montana, we do have to get out and hike on some ridges, but we're not walking like on a doll sheep or something like that where you're really in the backcountry or the high country. But these would work. They're super, and they're like 67 ounces, so it's not a heavy spot and scope by no means. But like I say, and then it's a 27x55x80. So, and the glass is tremendous, folks. This isn't a sales pitch, but I've looked through them all. I've looked at the complete high ends, and I've had them all actually. And when Sig and I got together and we decided to have a good partnership, I was blown away by how much stuff that they have that is just, it's equal to all the high end stuff. And that's what I like about them. Their price points are unbelievable. So, you know, I would recommend this spot and scope to anybody. Like I said, my only downfall is I would rather have a straight eyepiece, but they haven't come up with one yet for this Oscar 8. So hopefully in the future they do that. And then also when you do buy it, you get a neoprene cover here. And I always put that on. It just saves on your spot and scope. You know, most of the time you're throwing them in the back seat of your pickup, or they're sitting on the dash or in a backpack or whatever. But mine's always on. I never take mine off. But just to show you guys here, I just wanted to take it off. But ours always stays on, and it comes with it. Just another deal with Sig. You know, they're great about adding, you know, just a few items that'll help protect this glass, because this glass is expensive, but the price point for what you're getting is awesome. So I would recommend this Sig Sauer Oscar 8 to anybody. So this is what we look at all of our elk and deer stuff with. And you also too, for you guys at Phone Scope, they make a phone scope that'll fit this Oscar 8. So Logan and I, we each have one. We love phone scoping. Nice to be able to get away from elk and deer and stuff, and you know, zoom in, just get really good clarity, and then we can film it and video it off our iPhones on the phone scope right through the Oscar 8. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, and this is what I've been running the last couple of years, and I absolutely love them. These are the Kilo10K HD 8x32s. Yep, 8x32s, and I absolutely love these set of binoculars right here. They're lightweight. They're they're just shy over 26 ounces. You know, they're only 6 inches in length, so they're just perfect. And what I use these for a lot is, is when I'm archery hunting in the fall. I like running them, especially elk hunting, you know, because you want to try to stay as light as you can when you're moving around. You know, you're trying to always stay ahead of elk, so your backpack or your binos on your chest, you want to try to be light. And then another thing I like about these too is they have the same features of all the original Gen 1, you know, the Kilo10Ks. So you can put dopes in here. You know, it's a binocular rangefinder. I don't put my dope in here for my guns, because then ultimately when I'm rifle hunting, I'm using these 10Ks. But I absolutely love these Kilo 6Ks. I tell Logan all the time, I love using them. They're light, they're just perfect. Like now we're into turkey hunting right now. This is what I run. They're light, and I can just pull them up real quick. They're not heavy as all. And then, like I said, in archery season, I'll run them. If I'm archery season deer early, you know, I'll run them. But then ultimately, you know, like here in Montana, we jump out archery, we go right into rifle season, and then I'll put these up, and then I'll go over here to my 10Ks, because I have all my gun on ballistic and dopes right in there. So, and I could put them in here too. I just choose not to. Then I'm gonna run the 10Ks. And the price point on these things are unreal. They're $1,000 is what they were. I'm telling you, they are I just love these things. You know, I use them all the time, like I said, whether we're turkey hunting or I'm archery hunting. But my wife will use them a lot too. You know, she likes looking through them. She doesn't, you know, really want the bigger, bulkier ones on her. And these are awesome. But I would recommend these to anybody. They have a 6,000 yards on a reflective for their rangefinder, but on animals, it's like 2,500 yards. So if you're looking for a small, compact, you know, a set of binocular rangefinders, I would recommend these Sig Sauer, these Kilo 6Ks, man, HD. They are so awesome. I love them. So this is what I'm running when I'm turkey hunting or I'm archery hunting. So, you know, go take a look at them at sigsauer.com, which you can find all this great stuff that I'm going to talk about. Now I'm going to dive into the great I personally think that Sig Sauer is right now with this Gen 2 Kilo10K HD glass. I think it is probably for the price point, is the best rangefinder binocular on the market. I'm telling you, I've looked through all of them. This new one that they just come out with, they got rid of the blue tint. That was one of the biggest things that they got rid of. In the Gen 1 here, you know, these are the ones that we've been running. You know, these are the Gen 1s. When you look through them, there was the way that they had to do with the technology that was available at the time when they come out with this. They had to use a blue tint. So now there's new technology, like everything. This technology, a world we live in, everything's going so fast. So now they come out with the Gen 2s. And so I'm gonna put my Gen 1s up, or probably my wife will look through them when she's hunting. And now is the Gen 2s right here. So you can see they're pretty much the same in size. I think the Gen 2 is a little smaller, not as bulky like in the front here. You know, probably I'm just gonna, and I had to write all these things down, people, because there is so many changes with this new set of binoculars, the 10K, these Gen 2s. So I'm just gonna start at the back here. The first thing that they did, and I'm sure they got a lot of feedback that was tough, but on the back here, where you put your battery in for the rangefinder, this can kind of be, you got to use a flat screwdriver or a quarter, and this can kind of be a son of a gun at times to get it and then try to push it down and you know, have the battery and the quarter and the screwdriver and kind of get it all lined up. Well, on their new Gen 2, they put a little flipper on there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little flipper right here. So now you can just use it with your hand and screw it on, and it's awesome. I can, you know, as you get a little older, you know, you kind of want something that's a little more handy for your hands. And so that was one change that I was really appreciative of, is this little flipper there for getting your battery in for your rangefinder. So probably I'm just gonna run down this, you know, there's a lot of stuff here, but basically the difference is the texture of them is different. This is kind of I would say it's kind of like a textury grip, where this was kind of a rubbery one. This is maybe not quite as rubbery, maybe a little more texture in it. I don't know how you explain it. It's still nice. It's super nice feel with it. But another thing is they changed all the rings. So like the rings on the Gen 1s here, the rings here and the eye cups are a little different. Now with these on the Gen 1s, these were plastic eye cups. And now on the Gen 2s, these are metal eye cups. So they should last a little longer. I've never had any issues with mine, but I've heard some people that said that they had trouble with them. So that was one thing that they changed with that. Their focus knob is different right here. It's a little different. Still nice, you know. Probably a little more sleeker, I would say, than the Gen 1 here. But like I said, we're splitting atoms here, you know. There's nothing that's gonna be a big thing out in the field. So probably the main thing they changed is the front of it here. See, on their old one, they just had the mode and the range. Well, on this new one, now they have the same thing. They have the mode and the range, but now they have a menu, and then they have a up and down here for wind speed and wind direction. And what's kind of cool about it is before you had to go into your settings and go through and try to change your wind speed and dope. You know, most people, you know, they set their wind at 10 and 3 o'clock. And on this one, you can actually go right in here within your binoculars and say the wind's going 20 miles an hour, and say it's coming out of the east, let's just say it's coming out of the east or something. So you can go in here right in your binocular with these new Gen 2s, and you can change your wind speed and your wind direction right in here. So it's a feature that they put in there. It's like I said, I've been playing with it. It's pretty nice, you know. So it would be right on the fly. You could go and do it without having to really go through all your menus and stuff. So it's pretty nice that way, you know. Like I said, out here in Montana, that'll be nice because we do get wind. So it'll be nice to be able to just go right in and quickly change your wind direction and your wind speed. So that is one major thing that they can do. Probably like I said, the main thing that everybody's really going gangbuster about is when you in these old ones here, they had a blue tint in them. So like when you look through them, you know, it was noticeable there was a blue tint, you know. And so then at low light, you know, people, you know, that's when it's crunch time, low light. So the technology, like I was saying earlier, wasn't there. Well, now the technology is there, and Sig jumped on it and they got it figured out. And now these things are clear. Like these Gen 2s are so darn clear. I mean, like it's unreal how clear they are. I mean, and so then that means your low light's gonna be way better. So that was the main thing. They got rid of the blue tint. There's so many different features now with this Gen 2 one right here. I mean, there's so many that I'm just gonna kind of go through them here and just kind of give you an example of what they are. If you would buy a pair, or you know, like if you would buy a pair of these binoculars, there's a little cheat card right here that they give you, and it tells you what all of them are, all the different modes, and you know. So I'm gonna break down just a few things that I like. So they have a target mode, and what the target mode is it's what you're gonna put it in. First, best, or last, and I usually run mine in best. So you know, that's kind of what I've done. You know, I'm not gonna overthink this too much. You know, I mean, you still got to hunt. You know, you just can't want all the gidgets and gadgets and think that you can't. You know, that you don't have to have any common sense and try to get out there and hunt them. So the target mode that they have in these, I'm gonna run the best in it. They do have a last mode, and what that means is so like if you're trying to shoot a laser through some grass, say you're bent down trying to stalk an antelope or whatever, the way that I understand it is if this rangefinder will go to the very last of what it's ranging. So if you put it in last mode, you're probably going to set it to its best efficiency as far as getting through something. Like it's going to hit the last thing that the rangefinder would hit. But I have just left mine in the best mode. It seems to be working, you know, good for me. That's just stuff that you're going to have to play with wherever you live. You know, I'm typically I'm just typically can get set up enough to where I can get over and range something, you know. And so like I said, each scenario is going to be different. You know, there are just going to be times where, you know, you are too low to range. I don't care what you are, you know. You just, you know, sometimes you get pinned, you got to lay down, but there is these options in this new Gen 2 to set stuff to kind of help you along. So, you know, there's a bunch of different modes. That a guy's just gonna have to play with. They have a fog mode that I think is really pretty cool. I have hunted, I've guided in fog in the mountain, guiding elk hunters and, you know, different things. And what it does is this fog mode is gonna try to get through all the rain and fog and the stuff that's gonna distort it, and it's gonna help you get an accurate range. So that's another mode that they put in there that might be pretty handy for some people. And then ultimately, back to the ranging, now they have an archery mode. So you can go and set these Gen 2s to archery mode, and it'll give you the angles and it's gonna compensate for if you're shooting real steep or or you're shooting really up and stuff. So it's just another tool, I guess, that they put in these that will help you, you know. So, you know, I've done a lot of archery hunt in my life and stuff, and I mean, and so I kind of know, you know, where to aim and stuff. But it's nice to know that Sig's added this to their Gen 2 Kilo10Ks. They have an archery mode now, and so that kind of helps. Like I say, there's just so many new features and modes to this that I don't want to do this video and you guys just go, you know, there's so much stuff going on here. There's just a lot of good stuff they put in there that if you do get a pair of these, that you just got to go and kind of figure out what you want to use, you know, within them. I haven't had these super long, so I mean, I'll probably mess with them a little bit, but you know, it's just, like I said, there's just a lot of new features. I mean, I got a page wrote here on all the new stuff that they actually put on these. So I just wanted to get on here and I wanted to tell you guys, you know, my thoughts, what we run, and then ultimately I wanted to show you the difference between these two. So, you know, another thing that they changed, this is what they used to always send you when you bought them. They had these, and these work good. I mean, me and Logan have wore the heck out of these. But now they partnered up with Marsupial Gear, and now you get kind of I guess just kind of a case like this. That's what they send you now, to just put them in a case, and it's a really nice case. But you can, and this is, I tell you, these people at Sig are just unbelievable. They send you 50% off on a Sig Sauer bino harness, and it's made by Marsupial Gear. So that's just a good deal they got going. You know, they're just trying to get you to protect this glass. And I say it all the time. When they started coming out with the bino harnesses way back in the day, that was probably the smartest idea, because, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. This glass, whether it's you're shooting like a lower end glass to high end or whatever, the first thing you need to do is you need to protect it. I mean, like I said, it's such a tough time to be spending money on optics and hunting and everything, just the way this economy is. So you want to take care of this stuff, you know. It's just, and so like I said, about every one that I've ever gotten from Sig Sauer, they've always sent a case. This is the new case with this one. Like I said, it's nice. You know, we run our ball cases now, as you guys have seen us, but the same thing. We're just trying to protect our Sig glass. So another thing that they got in here, you know, you can go in and you can change your brightness in your, you know, right in your display. You can change it super easy. Go in the menus, up, down. It's pretty self-explanatory. You know, the one thing that they do have now that they've changed is a reticle. In these, you can pick. So they have a square reticle that you know, you would put on the animal or the side of the hill that you want to range. They have a square, a circle, or a reticle. So you can go choose whichever one you want to use to range with. I use the circle, but that's just me, you know. It's just, that's my preference, but that's something that you could go and definitely change. You know, you can go in here and switch yards and meters and Fahrenheit and Celsius. And like I said, they're just so much new to these Gen 2s that are, like I said, I just don't want to overwhelm you to where you think that, you know, they're way too complicated. They're not. I'm just trying to tell you that there's tons of new features in this new Gen 2, in these Kilo10Ks that I think you guys would really, really love. And so that's one thing, you know. Other than that, you know, there's, like I say, they give you a little card here. And like when I have mine in my range modes, I always put mine in the BDX Elite. That's what I would run it into. But, you know, there's, I mean, like I say, they give you this little card in there, and it's going to tell you what everything does, how to do it. you know, so there's like a little cheat sheet for you so you can get started. Also, like say they're just doing this, and I think they've done this with their old ones, but they send you 2 batteries. So you have a battery and then you have a backup battery. And then now what Sig has done is they've sent a lens pin here. So that's kind of nice, trying to keep your glass clean and not scratched. And they send a little lens pin here, and then you can go in there and I always try to blow mine off first. And then I just go and I always hold it like this and just kind of clean it off like that so the dust is all falling down. And so I'll do this one here. It needs cleaned. It was hunting coyotes here not too long ago, but get it cleaned up. And like I said, I just try to keep that glass clean, but this is a little lens pin that Sig Sauer now puts right in there. So that's kind of a nice little tool. You can put it in your bino case or backpack, or you know, however you want to do it. But other than that, guys, I wanted to jump on here and just kind of, you know, show you what the new Gen 2 is, you know, versus the Gen 1. And I can't, you know, like I said, probably the main thing is the blue tint is gone in it. And I'm telling you, I stepped out here and I got them. And, you know, I live right here in town, in this little ag town I live in Winnet. And we got some rims that kind of, that sit right above Winnet here. And it was like, I think they're 1,800 yards away. I ranged them, and it was just like I was sitting almost, you know, maybe 100 yards from them. That is the clarity of this new glass of these Gen 2s. It is unreal. I mean, I'm, like I said, I'll put my word to it that they're, for the price point, they're the best rangefinder binocular on the market today by far. So with that being said, everybody, that's kind of, I wanted to jump on here. I just wanted to let everybody know that they did come out with something new. I kind of wanted to show you what all of our optics, as far as what we look through, you know, before we actually get to the harvest point. But like I said, I'm super proud to be with Sig Sauer. They're a great company. I think they're, you know, they're a USA company, and ultimately they're just, their price points fit everybody. And, you know, so if you can, you know, go check them out at sigsauer.com. If you guys, you know, have any questions, just drop them down in the comments. I'll answer all of them as best as I can. Like I said, I'm a hunter first, and then I'm not an engineer, so I'm going to go out and use this stuff. I'm going to put it to the test. We put our stuff to the test pretty hard. We're in Montana, so, you know, everything's getting tested, whether it's cold, wind, rain, dry, dusty, heat. I mean, we see it all here. That's why we call it God's country. Everybody in Montana is pretty tough just from living in this state, but we love it, and I wouldn't move anywhere else. We got everything here, and so that's what we love about it. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. And like I say, just to get out there and take your wife, kids, whatever, get them out in the outdoors, fishing, hunting, whatever. I think it's the best thing for them. Put the phones down, people. Go enjoy the time you have with your family, because it doesn't last very long, everybody. Lights out.